Namaskar. Today let's talk about some variations in Cobra. Many of you have seen variations, and let's talk about English named variations. Okay, there's 5 basically. There's others, but let's talk about the main 5. Now some people might say, this first one really is not a member of the Cobra family, and that is Sphinx. Regardless of whether you consider it to be part of the Cobra family or not, you're basically pretty close to the same position as the Cobra and upward dog and raised Cobra and so forth. Now, you have the forearms down, a lot of pressure going straight from the shoulder all the way through the elbow and into the floor. You're using the skeleton for leverage. The main thing here, when we think about it, is we're really hardly engaging any muscles to hold this position in comparison to some of the others. But at the same time, if somebody has a lower back problem, this one might be a problem. So we're going to go to a variation of this one, and that is I come down here to baby Cobra, which is elbows in close, forearms down, and what we're doing here is we've got very little pressure. Why would we pick this posture? So that someone who, say, for example, has a herniated disc in the L5 area is doing something where what they're doing is they're doing a little bit of a challenge, but they're not going to compromise their own problems. Okay, now the next one would be Cobra. How do I find Cobra by myself in my home practice when my teacher's not around to give me an assist? One way is to take your hands. You could take your hands out this way, any way you like. But then you go into your back bend. See where you can go. Okay? Bring your palms here. Very little pressure where you are. Elbows in, close. Your gaze is forward. You see what you can do. Check your pressure once in a while. This is Cobra. Cobra is very little hand pressure in and of itself. Now, we move on to upward dog. Okay. Upward dog, I've got the palms approximately under the shoulders if I can. Obviously, there are other variations of upward dog where the hands are more forward. That's okay. We're not getting to those today. What we're going to do here is press up into this position. Now, what's going on here is let's talk about that one. This particular posture that I just did, the toes are pointing back. At the same time, there's a lot of strength. So there's a lot of pressure going from the palms to the floor. So a lot of pressure from the palms to the floor. And the other thing is my knees were making contact with the floor, and maybe depends on the person, their upper body, their upper legs might also make contact with the floor. The next one I'm going to show you, some people confuse this one with upward dog. It is a raised Cobra. It is a little different than upward dog in that what we're going to do is bring our hands here, and geez, started out in the same position. How could it be different? I'm rolling my toes under. So I roll my toes under. This time, my knees and my lower legs and my upper legs won't make contact with the floor at all, and I press up into this one. Okay, so this is a much deeper variation than, say, downward dog. But downward dog in and of itself is a good posture. I'm going to come out of this. What we're going to do is talk briefly. There are a lot of variations of Cobra. Sometimes you have to modify depending on who the student is, or modify for your own practice. And you might have reasons for doing one over another. Obviously, some of those postures might not be so good for somebody with lower back problems in the first place. So they've got to take care of themselves. Some of your more athletic students, they may want to go into upward dog or raised Cobra, and there's obviously even more challenges you could put in there if you want to make it for athletes. You could have, for example, in raised Cobra, you could have someone extend a leg up in the air and take turns doing it. The point being, there's a Cobra for everyone, and the names that I just gave you are generally accepted, but some styles may say different names. That's fine. I personally don't care. My main point is that what you should do is, if you need a way to define them and you're looking at different variations, now you have a general guideline. This isn't the law, it doesn't have to be my way. It's just an example of 5 names for 5 different poses. With that in mind, I'd like to wish all of you a nice week. Om Shanti.